All right, guys, so in this video, we are going to look at integer operations. So you can see I've got the rules on the left and right. The rules are the same for addition and subtraction. If the signs are the same, you are going to add and keep the sign. So if they're both subtraction, you'll keep the negative sign. If they're both addition, you'll keep the positive sign. For opposite signs, you're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number for both addition and subtraction. And then it's squeezed down here in the corner, but let's add this in. Minus a negative number is going to turn to one big positive. So that is this part here in the corner. So add that into your notes. It's kind of squished in. All right, so we did a couple of examples that you can see on the video already. We did them in class, but let's go back and pick up a few more so that you have some more examples. So this first one, -3 plus -1. Well, these signs are the same, so I'm going to add them. That gives me 4 and keep the sign. The way you can think about the same signs, both being negative, is with your bank account. If I am in debt $3 and then I spend another $1, that's a negative. I'm now even more in debt, $4. So I'm adding those but going more negative. 6 plus -10, I've got opposite signs, so I'm going to subtract them. So 10 minus 6 gives me 4 and keep the sign of the bigger number, which is -10, so -4. -16 plus 5, these are opposite signs, so I'm going to subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger number. All right, same rules are true with subtraction. The only difference is you may have to simplify that minus a negative first. So like in this very first example, I've got -5 minus -4. That's going to turn to one big plus, and so I've got -5 plus 4. Opposite signs, I'm going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number, -1. So with this, if you think about with your bank account, this means I was in debt $5 and I deposited $4. Well, I'm still in debt, but not quite as in debt. I'm in debt $1. All right, we've got another one of the negative minus a negative, so that's going to turn to a positive. And then now those are opposite signs. And so I'm going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number and get 34. All right, and I've got another one. Now that is 10 plus 8, which is going to give me 18. And then I've got one more with the subtraction. Actually, I think this looks like it's supposed to be a plus sign. So I've got -20 minus positive 19. So -20 minus 19. And that's going to give me they're the same signs. Keep the sign and -39. All right, moving over to multiplication and division. Multiplication and division, the rules are much easier. If the signs are the same, your answer is going to be positive. If the signs are opposite, your answer is going to be negative. And so the acronym that I use in my math classes is SPON, S-P-O-N, same signs positive, same signs positive, opposite signs negative. And so that's another way you can remember it. Multiplication division tends to be a little bit easier. So with our multiplication, we're not going to do all these. We're just going to kind of skip around. -4 times 2, so I'm looking at this second one. The signs are opposite, so my answer is going to be -8. And then let's look at -2 times -4. The signs are the same, -2 and -4, and so I'm going to have a +8. And then let's look at the one at the very bottom of this. So what I have to do, order of operations, says that I have to do -4 times -2, and then 3 times -2, and then I'm going to add those two numbers together. So -4 times -2, those are the same sign, so it's going to be +8. 3 times -2 is going to give me a -6, and then I'm going to add those. Now I'm going back to the rules to the left, the addition and subtraction rules. Signs are opposite, so I'm going to subtract those and keep the sign of the bigger number. And so I get a +2. All right, with my division, you could also see this written as a fraction. So that -30 division symbol, -6, is also the same thing as -30 fraction -6. So we can write division either with the division symbol or with the fraction bar. All right, these signs are the same. So -30 divided by -6 is going to give me a positive number because they're the same, and +5. All right, 6 divided by -12, or 6 fraction -12. Well, this one is going to reduce as a fraction. I'm going to divide top and bottom by 6 and get out -1/2. Versus this other one, -12 divided by -6, that's going to give me, they're the same sign, so it's going to be +2.